We also have the recording started.
The host can start the recording.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. And have recording started by the host. Meghna? Could you please confirm? Okay. Okay. The recording is started. So Aditya and Manashwi, please confirm once again. Are you both here?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So welcome everybody. So this is plenary is already in session. This is day 2, and we are gonna be having on agenda the candidate presentations for the governing body today. And we'll be having a roll call right now of the voters. Aditya, can you please do the roll call? Kindly answer through your mics, a simple yes, or type it out in the chat box. Aditya,
I'll
please
take
start.
over.
Yeah.
President Vijayrupa Kukkanachi. President Vijayrupa Konkanachi.
Next person.
Okay. Shri Hari Govind, PPE.
Present and voting.
Dina Mariam, VPI.
Present and voting.
Fazlur Rahman Khan, VPF. Fazlur Rahman Khan, VPF. Not present. Okay. Okay. Arjun PC, VPCB. Arjun PC, VPCB. Not present. Katyayani Goswami.
Present and voting.
Manish Chandra.
Present and voting.
Anushya. Anushya, Council Chair for Council of Public Health. Not present. Snigdha Mishra.
Present and voting.
Swati Devella.
Present and voting.
Abhishek Velmurugan. Abhishek Velmurugan, Vice Chair for Academics and Medical Education.
Next person.
PJ Vishnu Bharadwaj.
Present and voting.
M. Vishma.
Present and voting.
Darshan Sai. Darshan Sai, Chair for Council of Long Range Planning and Development. Not present. Sachin K. Sachin K. Vice Chair for Council of Long Range Planning and Development. Not present. Rukmini Tagore.
Yes. Present.
Venkat Praneeth.
Present and voting.
Sanjay B.
Present and voting.
Sejal Kakar.
Present and voting.
Meghna Sitakuru. Meghna Sitakuru, Director of Public Relations and Communications. Not present. Purnachandra. Purnachandra, Logistics Officer. Not present. IT Officer is vacant. Umar Farooq. ST for Karnataka, not present. Lakshmi Venkat Simachalam, State Director for Andhra Pradesh. Hemant Reddy, State Director for Telangana. Hemant Reddy, State Director for Telangana, not present. Kukilaveni Shekhar, State Director for Tamil Nadu, not present. Evan, State Director for Kerala, not present. Vishwa Babu, State Director for Pondicherry, not present. Akhil Anto, State Director for Andaman and Nicobar, not present. So that's the end of attendance.
Yeah.
We have the quorum and we can proceed.
Before we go on to the candidature presentations, just a few ground rules, basic rules. Just like yesterday, it's going to be 2 minutes for presentation and 1 minute of questions. And before we proceed further, I would just like to say this. Apart from all the best, congratulations to all of you here. You're all taking the time and effort to come here. And I would also like to say this today, that is going to be, yesterday we had a bit of buffer and everything. This is a much more crucial position. So I'm going to be a bit more precise on the time of 2 minutes and 1 minute. And consider this is not a competition. This is an election, and just be yourself and present in that 2 minutes. Please do not be bothered about whether your presentation is going to exceed the 2 minutes. If you're stopped at that point, it is all right. You are just given your maximum, and the voters will take that into account, and it will just leave the timing to us. Please do not be worried on that. You do not have to worry about whether your presentation will be on time or not. You just be yourselves and present, and that would be more than enough. So leave that part to us and the plenary team. So that would be all. Again, please keep it short and simple. And while answering questions, please try to answer in a gist. So the questions may not be, if not make the questions precise, but the answers can be made perhaps precise and to the point. So try that to save time. And most of you all would be aware of this. So these are just the basic ground rules. And once again, apart from all the best, congratulations to all of you. And even before we go to the voting and the results are declared, I would like to say that all of you here have your gifts definitely, without a doubt. And you're all coming to this platform and presenting. And it's just a point of, in terms of experience, where those gifts are. So do not worry about the results. Even after the declaration, I can tell you that every single one of you is extremely talented and capable. The voters would decide for themselves. If at all, the results do not go your way, just consider, please do not take all this into consideration before presentation. Just think that if the results do not go your way, despite your best presentation, please just consider that this may not be in the organization's agenda. That is all. It is never going to mean that you are not fit for the position. So all the best, and definitely congratulations all. I think we can start with the candidature presentations. Manasvi?
Yes,
Can we?
So today we're starting with candidates for Vice President of External Affairs.
Yes.
Deena.
Hello, I'm present. Can my presentation be shared as the...
Oh, yes. Yes, please share. And before you start, again, yesterday, in terms of questions, the rules are the same. The person applying for the same position cannot ask the question, and the preference will be given to local committee heads and a person who has previously worked in the position. And apart from this, just to save time, please ask at the start, at the beginning itself, that is the right at the end of the candidate's presentation. In case of multiple questions, when the person with the preference is given the question to ask, and given the chance to ask the question first, please type out your question so that we can save time. That will be all. Thank you. Yes, Deena, please start.
Just 1 second. So I am presenting, I'm so sorry. I'm presenting today the candidature for Vice President of Exterior Matters. So the contents are the experience, My experience has been a mixture of IFMSA experience and other organizational experience, like attending the UCOSOC Youth Forum, the UNEWA Peace Building Asia Pacific Dialogue, being a member at Women for Global Health, which works a lot on gender equity and equality. Then I'm external affairs lead at the Youngo, and I have also attended Global Health Advocacy Workshop in IFMSA. So what is my plan of action? So with the VPF, I will be working on grants, aids, and scholarships. With the VPCB, I will be working on curating, monitoring, and evaluating workshops. With the DPRC, I'll be working on visual aids like policy briefs and about stakeholder mapping, or about these things which involve external affairs. And with the councils and the SDs will be mapping stakeholders to recognize which stakeholder in the region or in the council is beneficial for Simsa. Other than that, general administration, 1 general assistant, 4 liaison officers, 4 liaison officers from each activity-based council. Member engagement from external affairs side is also very important. So that will be happening through regular updates on Simsa email IDs and the Simsa Google groups, and also on the WhatsApp portals and social media. Other than that, we'll be creating various SWGs and research groups involving matters of external affairs and policies. Now, policies is something very important in terms of external affairs. So we'll be setting up focal areas. Then we'll have to decide a timeline as to when the policy has to be started and when it has to end. Then after the policy is made, we need to adopt and publish the policy. And after adopting and publishing the policy, we need to also ensure that it's aligned with the SDGs and the activities are aligned with SDGs.
Dina, sorry, your time is up.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So anybody has any questions to the candidate, the BPE?
Okay, so at least from last year, leftover was the policy process of the organization is very underdeveloped. And by what you said, what you actually presented in your candidature, it is for a very developed organization. So how are you going to go about building capacity for policies in the organizational level and the local level?
Okay, so as this year we can mostly focus on equipping our team of officials, because our general member base itself is very under-equipped. So I mean, our councils itself are very under-equipped. So equipping them first is important. So involving them in making the policies and setting up focal areas first, and creating an SWG probably at the end of the term, so that we can set up a system in which the coming terms make sure that there is member engagement, more and more member engagement in policy processes. But for this year, we can focus on equipping the team of officials.
We have 25 seconds more. Repeat.
You have mentioned about gender equality. What is your plan for increasing LGBT community in Samsa? So as much as I am aware, the Vice President of External Affairs or Exterior Matters deals with signing MOUs with various NGOs, or jointly working with Courage, and also jointly working with CORP, because LGBTQ rights comes under CORP. So jointly working with these 2 organizations to do a stakeholder mapping and realize and to understand which NGO or which other civil society group can help us to engage with LGBTQ community. And with that support system, because we are very under-equipped to focus a lot on LGBTQ, only with external support and with NGOs we can do that. So yeah, that's
Thank you. So moving on to the next candidate. Thank you, Dina. We have
the next candidate is for the Vice President of Internal Affairs, Katyayani Goswami.
Yes, just a moment. I'll be sharing my screen.
Yes.
hope this is visible.
Yes, it.
Just a moment. Please don't start now.
No. Please,
Okay.
to all the candidates, forget about it. I'm even including in technical errors also. Your timers will be paused in case your net is breaking up. I did this yesterday and I will do it again. Again, it's an emphasis. Just present. All of you, please just present. Leave that to us.
Okay. That's very kind, Sanjay. Thank you. I'll be starting now. Hello, everyone. I'm honored to present to you all my candidature for the Vice President of Interior Matters. My name is Katyani Goswami. I'm sorry, that's got stuck. I'm very sorry. Just give me a moment. My name is Katyani Goswami. I'm a final year medical student at Madras Medical College and the outgoing council chair of CORP. A bit about my work experience. Apart from what's already on my CV, I've helped to conduct over 24 activities, 5 trainings, and have worked with over 21 organizations nationally and internationally during this course, excluding the activities I've conducted for Simsa. Speaking of my goals, starting with the short-term goals, I'll be maintaining a quarterly report database of all activities conducted through Simsa. For member engagement, each week, the charge will be taken up by either an activity council or state. Year-end orientation program with all the councils to benefit the general members before deciding which council they'd like to join. We'll work on a uniform Simsa calendar for general members and separately for the GBTO to accommodate OLMs. Internal collaboration to have a stronger organizational unity and further ensure overlapping themes are covered between councils and states. Over to the long-term goals, conducting activities that last more than 2 terms to garner a stronger impact and try conducting on-ground events in states, tapping into the potential of local committees. Maintaining a templates database, we'll have templates for emails, feedback forms, and some how-to pointers to ease the work of the officials. And creating a safe space, have GBTO bonding nights monthly, where we brainstorm solutions to issues that the councils or states might be facing. Moreover, a forum for general members to interact with the others to improve their mental health anonymously. Maintaining internal transparency by having a database of all collaborations to ensure more motivation amongst the councils and states. For resources, a Simsa gallery to have a more detailed idea of the activities conducted and a library of resources open to all members. Local committees working closely and equipping the local committee heads and LOs with the capacity to conduct activities and mini-meets across the state. Alumni Connections, maintaining a Simsa alumni database to ease juniors get in touch with their seniors, have mentorship, and so the seniors who start practicing for guidance and a where are they now section. So with that, I come to the end of my presentation. Thank you for listening. I'm available for any queries you might want clarified now or through WhatsApp or email later on.
That was well within time. Thank you. So, Aditya, how many questions do we have? Okay, we have 2 questions. VPI first. Okay, did I? Both your hands are raised. Dina?
VPI and VPF had raised their hands.
Yeah. So VPI, your question first. VPF, your question. Could you please type it out in the chat box?
So my major concern is that the VPI being able to respond to members is very crucial. So and also, but there is a lot of workload. So how are you going to manage? What is going to be your team structure? But majorly, how are you going to manage?
Thank you for the question, Dina. I believe that as far as the councils are concerned, we have a point of contact, which is the VPI license officer, with whom we'll be having OLMs bi-monthly, that is twice a month, I'm sorry. And with the states, I believe that is a direct contact. So I'll try to create a grievance portal. I understand that COIJA is already there, but grievances that aren't related to any form of harassment or of that sort, maybe just for equal participation or for any type of inequality that the people might be facing, or lesser participation, or maybe the local committee heads or local council heads are not getting opportunities. So for those concerns, I will try creating a portal with the state heads who will I will be talking to again bi-monthly. So that means twice a month. Fortnightly, I'm sorry, not bi-monthly.
That is, the time is almost up. Okay. Let this question once. Katyani, you have exactly 15 more seconds left. So please try answering concisely.
Okay, thank you. By institutionalize, I believe that you're asking me how will I go about with different colleges? Is that your question? For that, I believe I will be keeping an Excel sheet, which we will be going through. So this will be like a database with all the colleges and all the institutes of states, and it will come under state heads. we will try conducting, so all the vacancies that are of local officers and local council heads, we'll try creating many activities in those colleges to promote Simsa and to get more people joining in from there.
That would be all. Time is up. I guess. Okay, again. Thank you, Katie. Time is over. Thank you for that. And can we have the next candidate, please?
Yeah. Next candidate, Hasya.
Yes, I'm here. Just a second. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I guess we can start now.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. I am Hasya Singham Sethi, and I'm more than excited to present my candidature for the post of VPI at Simsa 2021-22. So talking about my experience, I have worked in various organizations for the past couple of years in various leadership roles. I'm currently a council member in Komi Simsa. I've also worked as a LoRa at MSAI and took part in a lot of workshops and trainings. I was also stood among top 10 at the activities fair in NGA 2021. I've also worked as a vice president at Student Network Organization AP, vice president for External Affairs Games AP, and many more. So my vision would be to make Simsa a cynosure on global platforms with indefectible functioning of the organization. My goals would be to bridge the gap between the general members in GBTO, improve member engagement and sustainability, increase outreach and active participation, also work with global health advocates and various stakeholders. My plan of action would be basically on 4 pillars and 3 blocks. Firstly, the general administration. In this part, I would like to concentrate on inculcating sociocratic principles for the smooth and efficient functioning of the organization, and also establish mental health corners and a superco, which is supervising council. And talking about the general body administration, I'd like to ensure a maximum transparency and accountability in all the matters, circulate bi-monthly anonymous feedback forms, be a point of contact in case of conflicts, etc. And coming to member engagement, I would like to do it via two processes. One is efficiency and other one is retention, via streamlining member communication, introducing Simsa gazettes, quarterly socials, SIGs, activity idea corners, open space discussions, and also streamlining membership registration process. Would like to ensure annual working plan development in councils, improve inter-council relationships, and also annual workshop, carnival, and colloquium, assist small working groups and plenary. These are some of the things which I would like to coordinate with other members of GBTO, mainly with the VPE for collaborations, external representation and policy work, planning on CB activities for training and induction sessions, state directors and local committee heads being one of the important, because we need to activate a lot of inactive colleges here and ensure maximum participation and implementation of all the Simsa initiatives at their respective state levels. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So Aditya, do we have any questions for the candidate? Yes, one. Anybody else? Okay. In case anybody else has it, like right now, please just start typing it out so that we can save time for the candidate. Yes, Raman. Please ask a question.
As mentioned in your CV, and as you were explaining me in regards to the implementation of various programs for the local committees and local committees head. So what more you could deliver in this term better than the previous terms? How will you collaborate with the other council members in the interdisciplinary work? Thank you.
Thank you for the question. So yeah, one thing is inculcating, as I mentioned, the sociocratic principles. Since we already have liaison officers in all the councils, I think this is a most sought out after process of administration, because it actually works on the fact, I know most of you might be aware of the sociocracy, but just to keep it simple, it actually involves something where no one disagrees with any proposal. Everyone is on agreement. So everyone will be valued, even local committee heads and the state directors who are not actually being more involved in the administration process. For the past year, I have seen that there's not much involvement of the council members or the state directors or the committee heads. They're not being involved in the administration process. So we can give them value. We can ensure that they're not subdued. by using these processes, and also the activities like I have already mentioned, the activity idea corners or small interest groups, with those activities, we can also improve the member
Your
engagement.
time is
I
up,
guess
Hasya. The
yeah.
time is up.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, Tina, any point of information here? Yeah.
So I just want to give a point, not a point of information. I'm asking permission. Can I add a point?
As in a question?
No, just a point.
To
so
the
live, I just wanted to add a point.
Would it be a point of information or a point of order?
No, I don't. I think it's neither. It's just a point of just information, which I want to.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So as I am, we are progressing towards more democratic structure of Simsa, and everyone must be aware that local councils are being given candidate membership. So, so any of the ones who are here, please have a look at it, and next year there'll be more involvement of local councils. Thank you.
Right. Can we move on with the next candidate, please?
So the next candidate, Shreya.
Oh.
Yeah. Is my PTP visible? Am I audible?
Yes, yes, you are.
All right, great. I think we can start with the timer.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, great. So good evening, everyone. I'll be presenting my candidature for VPI. I'm Shreya Durve. Just a second. So I have worked as a local officer liaison for the past term at Courage, as I've already mentioned yesterday. I have helped in the recruitment of over 30 local officers and led 5 SWGs simultaneously, along with the work I have done as a council member, and I believe we have a lot more to achieve. I have worked on various campaigns, as I said, many SWGs, and also coordinated many events at Courage. I'm also currently working on the CSC project. Academically speaking, I am a psychological first aid provider. I have presented many, few posters at national and international conferences, and I've been a delegate at the same. And I'm also working on 2 research projects simultaneously. And I have been a part of the IFMSA Period Conversation Circle, and I've also been selected as the Rubru trainer and facilitator for conducting events at a school level. So going to my goals as the VPI, I would want to ensure steady growth and sustenance of the organization, since we are relatively new, and also increase the number of active members to reduce dormancy. I would do that using the induction sessions for the local committee heads and local officers, and implementation of SWGs throughout the organization, since I believe that SWGs have really helped in capacity building in our council and have really helped train my local officers. Setting monthly targets for activity councils and ensuring that they are met, and also developing a research wing so that all the efforts that are being put into the activities and the events by our councils can be utilized, and the data that is being collected can be utilized for research opportunities for the members, and also creating more opportunities for general members. Training of the local committees, like I have already mentioned, and coordinating efforts by the GBTO and GB to conduct an annual meet, hopefully offline. This is something that I would highlight in my long-term plan as a Simsa application, so that it would have all our details in one place. The membership card and the membership ID would be in one place. It would give us regular updates about newsletters, council information, any opportunities that come up, so that, of course, we can reduce dormancy, increase the number of active members.
Shreya, your time is.
Thank you. Yeah.
Right. Aditya, do you have any questions?
We have 3 questions.
Okay.
4 actually right now. 4. One is by VPI Dina, VPF and Koda Chair, and VPE.
VPE. Okay. The other 3 of you, and since we have multiple questions here, please make your questions also a bit precise when you're typing it out, and so that the candidate has time to answer. We'll go with VPI since it's position she has worked before. VPI, please ask the question. The other 3, please type it out in the chat box.
Stop sharing. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're already aware, the Council of Long Range Planning and Development has been working on the app. So what new would you contribute with them?
So I would want to work with the VPE to get in more sponsorships on the app, since I know that, and the VPF, since the app is also going to, it is going to cost a lot, and it is also going to take a lot of effort. Inter-council communication has to be a lot, and before we launch the app, we also have to make sure that the councils and the organization is running smoothly, and again, the monthly targets are being met, so that we are able to, the app doesn't go dormant, and again, inter-council communication has to be strong. So that is something that I will have to contribute towards.
Good. So you have 35 more seconds, and you have 2 other questions with the VPF.
How would you
the
fund?
VPF, please wait, I haven't started the timer. The VPF, okay, he has also typed up. So you have 3 questions, and answer accordingly. 35 seconds.
So I'll answer VPF's question. So that's something in my interest. So as mental health, I would first suggest that we have already, I think my chair has done something in the past term, trying to come up with a questionnaire. So I would suggest trying to, utilize the questionnaires which are already there on the internet, and using those to assess the mental health of our councils and our members. That's something. And clarity stepwise on the implementation of Simsa app. So yes, of course, first thing that we have to ensure is what is the goal of the app, and something that's very important is funding. So I would suggest reaching out to students, because it is an opportunity for them as well, engineering students, engineering colleges, and collaborating with them, and trying to ensure that students are involved in this, so that the funding, we can maybe work on the funds on that.
Your time is up. Shreya.
All right. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you for your presentation. Manasvi, can we have the next candidate?
Next candidate is Praveen Casino.
Yeah.
1 second.
Yeah.
Is it visible?
Yes, it is visible.
Shall I start?
Yes.
Good evening to everyone present here. Myself, Praveen Kaushana. I am studying MBBS final year from SMC Vijayawada, and a candidate for Vice President for Interior Matters. My motivation is I always like to be administration and executive work effectively and efficiently in best possible way. My skills are project management, team organization, planning and development, operational improvement, and collaborations. My experience is I have worked in many organizations like State Deputy Director for Simsa Andhra Pradesh, State Assistant Director for Research Games Andhra Pradesh, Vice Head for IFMS, and internship at CCMB and SMR, and other DFC, MSA, GSN, and NSS. My plan of action is I will conduct induction sessions and let medical students know about Simsa so that they may join us, and will establish strong foundation for liaison officers and local committees with college, so the student board in every college representing Simsa work activity. Will establish dedicated activate local officers groups for the mobilization of Simsa events and activities. Will conduct regular meetings by fortnightly with committees and local officers to know about strength and feedback and execution of Simsa. An administrative pandemic and situation will conduct virtual meetings. Members of Simsa will keep working of Simsa active. Will make transparent report of bills and funds of Simsa. Will coordinate the work between members and the executive team. Will maintain proper database of the official documents of Simsa. Will conduct meetings among government body, councils, and state directors, which last year many directors and local officers could not actively involve. So this year, I think there will be more involvement. And when any problem arises, we try to solve and support by giving advices. Thank you.
Very well within time. Thank you, Praveen.
Thank you.
So do we have any questions, Aditya? Any questions to the candidate?
Being raised.
Okay, no question. The VPF as
Question right now.
Yeah. Okay. VPF and the VPI. Okay. The VPI first. VPF, please type out your question.
Okay, Praveen, there have been few states where there are very hard to reach colleges. In fact, all states there are few hard to reach colleges. So how are you going to ensure that the state directors at least put an effort to reach?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, yes, ma'am. In some colleges, there won't be permission to join in our Simsa or any other organizations, and in some states also, they're inactive. So like not in a group, but actually individually, if we go and approach them, then like in induction meetings, personally we can even motivate them, so that they will definitely join. When we show the disparity between our Simsa and other organizations, sure they will join.
You have 35 seconds more. VPF, the question is in the chat. Yes. Praveen, you have VPF's question on the chat. Would you like me to read it out?
Yeah. Actually, I could not see it.
How you would look for establishing foundations for local offices?
Yeah, actually, for anything, foundation is very important. So local officers, some dedicated and active students, firstly, who have a good experience, will be recruited for our Simsa, so that there will be more involvement, and from them we can even get more memberships also. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. So I guess that's it. VPF, any point of information?
No, sorry. I
Oh,
have
okay.
to just...
No problem. Right. Praveen, could you please stop sharing your screen?
Yeah.
Okay, so now we are moving on to candidates for Vice President of Finances. First candidate, Fazlur Rahman Khan.
Chair, can I go?
Yeah, please go ahead. Yes.
Okay. Good evening, all. Myself, Fazlur Rahman. I have worked as Vice President Finances for the term 2021, and I do hereby present my candidature for next term too. And okay, so the basic outline will be introduction, the struggles and the improvement, and how we could spend. And introduction, I have created the virtual bank account for easy and aptly fund transfers, and dealt with the foreign remittances, and proposed a unique payment gateway services. And what is exactly the financial preparation? It goes with redefining the spend of chairs and vice chairs, and involving the strategic solutions for fundraising. And we are actually looking for grants such as IPAS, USC grant, United Nations Habitat, potential grants such as National Youth Council, youth NGOs. And especially I am working towards establishing internal funds, which might be strategic fund and a solidarity fund, to adopt with modernization and unwarranted events. And standardizing sponsorships, which is like a scheme of sponsorship have to be derived, like guideline, what should be accepted, what should not be accepted, and from which bodies has to be accepted. And many of them have pointed out, the state directors are unable to perform at the grassroots level, so I have decided to allocate a minimum budget for them at their disposal. And I'm looking, like, to open a international bank account, as we are aspiring IFMSA member. And most of them spend from their pockets to meet some expenditure. So in order to avoid those, I'm coming up with a software which can enable them instant uh, whatever requirement they have. And I'm looking for FCR and the tax rebate. And this one of the, like, if you are searching for a flight ticket, then you have to just see it and go through, like, the software, and which generates the virtual cards, and you can request for the purchase or subscription, and I just approve it, and you get your bill, whatever. That's all.
Thank you. Okay, Aditya, do we have questions? I am seeing the VPI is hand raised. Anybody else? Any other questions, Aditya? Aditya, are you there?
There are two questions. One is by VPI and VPE.
And the VPI. So the VPI first, and VPE, could you please type out your question in the chat? Yes, Dina.
Okay, so my question is that we had a lot of these promises last term as well. How many of them are fulfilled? And more importantly, as Simsa is proceeding towards a more democratic structure that is a more transparent uh, environment, so how are you going to ensure transparency of financial matters?
As you are well aware, being a VPI, there were a lot of challenges ahead because of the COVID situation, and which have delayed the official work. And we all know very well how the bureaucracy works in India. So in that case, like we were searching for these few certificates with income tax department, which are not met, and we are really working hard to meet the criteria laid down for it.
Okay. Aman, you have 42 seconds more, and you have two
Okay.
questions. Okay. You have two questions. The VPE's question first.
Please. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, VP, for your question. And expansion on the virtual bank account, it is being provided by the third party such as Razorpay. And as you are aware, like we have received few sponsorship, like a very minute one through those account itself. And coming to the question of Vishnu, strategy of software development, how soon can we get it ready? As soon as we become independent on that.
Okay, you have 25 more seconds. Actually, the VPI has continued to. Do you want to answer those questions?
Yeah, sure. I would like to go ahead to answer
Okay.
this question. Okay. On
Please pause. VPI, could you please complete letting out your questions so that the time is maintained?
Yeah, so I can just explain. Right, currently, as you said, the bureaucracy has been very difficult on us and has given us a lot of struggle. So we don't have certain certificates like FCRA. And if we work on grants, what process are you going to make sure that the funds reach us? Because if FCRA is not there, technically we are doing something illegal.
Okay. The same 25 seconds.
Okay, most of the grants bodies having their local offices located in India. So even though if we don't have the FCI certificate, those can be transferred to their regional offices back at India, and from India we received it to our account.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for your presentation. Could you please stop sharing? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
The next candidate is Swati Giriraj.
Okay, let me just share my screen. All right, I hope I'm audible. So good evening, everyone. I am Swati Devalla. I currently work as an intern at Kempegowda Institute of Medical Sciences in Bangalore, and I'm delighted to present my candidature for the post of Vice President of Finances. So last year, I worked for the chair of COMI. Not only have I conducted several activities, but I've also undergone a bunch of trainings on leadership, healthcare, as well as on financial affairs. Now, what can I do as the VPF for Simsa? So I do have a lot of plans and a lot of goals for Simsa. I believe that it's really important to work as a team and communicate effectively. There would be efforts to collaborate with the GBTO, understand their needs, and also make sure that these needs are included in our financial plans. So in order to ensure that our organization is transparent and we are accountable, I would like to conduct regular meetings and also submit regular reports so that every member knows what is going on with our organization, where our money is going into. Now, last year, I am sure that the activity councils didn't really have much of a budget allocation. So this time, I would like to allocate a certain amount of our budget to the activity councils so that they can conduct trainings, health camps, educational tours, trips, or even fundraising activities. Most importantly would be to allocate a budget for research prospects. And also, I feel like it's really important to integrate financial planning into activity design so that we could be more sustainable and make sure that we are cost effective. What are some of the newer ideas that I want to introduce? I want to introduce the concept of a VPF assist or a liaison officers, and also include financial training and workshops in order to improve the financial capacity among medical students. So I am aware that we are not very financially equipped. We often need help from outsiders, but if we can train each other and improve capacity, that would be a great help, especially for the future of the organization. Last but not the least, I feel like there needs to be an increased stress on external representation, advocacy, increased number of workshop meets and conclaves to bring out the best.
Your time.
Thank you so much for your time.
Okay. So, do we have any questions to the candidate? Yes, I'm seeing one.
One is by VPI and second one is by VPE.
So the VPI first and the VPE, please put on your question in the chat box.
So there have been a few issues with our payment gateways lately. So what ideas do you have? How do you want to ensure that we are on a safe side and our payments at no point of time are stopped?
All right. So right now, whatever payment gateway we are using, I would first like to address the issue that we have, identify what the root cause, why we have issues. There could be issues at the level of the bank, at the level of the payment gateway, or technical errors. So address the issues and identify the root cause and move forward with that. If that's not possible, I would like to switch over to a different payment gateway. There are several of them that are quite safe and that also have like a minimum transaction fees. For example, there could be PayU, there could be Citrus Pay, there could be several other payment gateways that we could use. So yeah, I hope that answers your question.
So Swati, you have 37 seconds left more. VPE's question is coming.
Okay, so can you please mention whether Simsa as an organization needs to, at this point, invest in securities like stocks and mention the legal validity of it? All right. So as an organization, Simsa can definitely invest their money in safer areas, for example, like fixed deposits or mutual funds. I'm not sure if they're allowed to invest in stocks. However, since we are a student organization, I'm not sure if we should be focusing on profiting because we are not a profit, we are a not-for-profit organization. Whatever investments we make, it would be great if we could invest in the long term for a better sustainability, just in case we're not able to, fund our activities or research grants with our membership fees or sponsorships. But otherwise, for short-term goals, I don't think it is really required to invest in stocks.
So that is all. Thank you, Swati.
Thank you.
Can we have the next candidate?
So now we are moving on to candidatures for Vice President of Capacity Building. Our first candidate is Vishnu Bharadwaja.
Oh.
Just a second, let me share the screen. All right, I can start.
Oh, sure.
Hey everyone, I'm Vishnu Bharadwaj. Most of you know me as your courage chair. And so this is a bit of my experience in research, which I'd like to highlight. I've been trained by central government organizations. I have 7+ papers and posters and publications and 70+ accredited hours from several international organizations. And these are just few of mine. This is just a small part of my resume. And my achievements in Simsa, I've reached more than 7,000 people in 1 year from a single council. 10 activities were executed in multiple online formats and even an offline format as well. And 9 external collaborations are done. And I've developed this SWG format and successfully executed 10 small working groups in a single year from a single council. And we also have a volunteer program to facilitate non-medical participants and 3 ongoing researchers in courage. So I would like to mention my plan of action. It's not about building an organization, it's more about building a family, for which first and foremost important thing is the capacity building. So there will be capacity building sessions from COEJA and VPE towards MOUs and collaborations to help smoothen the process and speed up the process as well. CLPD will be working towards optimizing these protocols. I'll be working with CLPD on that. And a CBC workshop on bylaws to all the council chairs and state council heads and state directors, which will help you understand organizational stand on every aspect. Then there'll be advanced trainings towards activity design, which will be given not just for activity councils, but also for state directors and deputy directors. And execution of activities in adverse conditions. Let's suppose, say it's an exam season or just a bad day, you have an offline or online situation to face those, and evaluation with scientific validity. Then a monthly GBTO resource sharing meeting, because we have incredible resource happening and developing between all the councils. There'll be open mic evenings, experience sharing with technologies like Miro and Trello, and candid talks from people from different streams to just increase and appreciate how good different lines of work are. Hall of Fame to appreciate best works from Simsa members and councils. A creative corner on website to promote social media.
Vishnu, sorry, your...
Thank you.
Thank you. But any questions for the candidate? Yeah, one by the VPE, the VPI, and any other questions? Are there any other questions? VPF. So the VPE first, the VPF and the VPI, please type out your questions in the chat box. Aditya, do we have any more questions?
Okay, so my questions have two parts, all concerning with activity. For getting an international standard, we need to have an effective activity proposal done. How would you firstly increase members' capacity for it? Secondly, on evaluation, activity evaluation, I know we have been evaluating it based on some international organization, but to have a global outlook, we need to have a regularized and a reviewed mechanism for evaluation framework that is established. How comfortable are you, and how would you go about setting up that mechanism?
So I would like to describe about activity evaluation. We have an internal evaluation process and an external. For external organizations, we would look up what they're trying to exactly find out and develop accordingly. For internal, we already have a high quality activity analytics, which is why we were able to do and deliver and get such a good feedback on our activities. Could you repeat the first part of the question? I did not get that.
What I meant was the activity proposals for a global outlook, and let's say for funding and everything, we need really big capacity on creating an activity proposal. So how exactly are you going to go about bringing about the capacity for the organization?
So, okay, so increasing the capacity towards achieving certain goals will be working with the experts on that field. So in such thing, you would be, of course. And I would use your abilities and skill and train the respective SWGs and work towards smooth execution. And as I said, we have a very strong SWG structure. It's being tested.
Okay. We have 35 seconds more.
Just check the chat.
Yeah, 35 seconds more to go. So as the VPF typed in his question.
All right, yes.
Just a minute. VPF, is this your hand raised for a question or any point of information?
Like I will be sending my question in a bit.
Okay. If it is so, because the candidate can answer clearly, I'll wait for a few more seconds of time. So please do send out so he can answer in one.
Yes, I have a question, Nina. So I'll be looking towards collaborating with working with VPI and state directors. And then again, it's more about on-ground sourcing of the capacity. That would be a lot of internal collaboration and the external collaborations. I'd be working with VPE and VPI and the state director towards building it. And we will also look towards getting the funds required, at least for our capacity, if not for the whole activity.
Okay, 20 more seconds to go. You have VPF's question.
I has, all right. So the point of inclusivity, most important point of inclusivity is the consent. And if somebody is not interested to take part in it, it means we shouldn't be forcing them towards it. However, we spread the information in a positive manner and try to get more people who are interested into it. So the focus would be to get more people interested in it rather than trying to convince non-interested participants.
Okay. Thank you, Vish. Thank you for your question.
So the next candidate is Chetana Rajesh.
Yes, I'm here. I'll just be sharing my screen shortly. Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is.
Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes, you can start the time. Good evening, everybody. I'm Chetna and I'll be presenting my candidature for VPCB. So before I go into the details, I would just like to highlight the leadership roles that I've held, other than the existing roles I've already held within Simsa itself. So capacity building to me is basically based on Simsa's promise to create, to give the opportunity to its members to create. And therefore, this is the premise that Simsa has been built on and is trying to build on. So using this as the foundation, I would try to enhance meaningful member involvement in the organization. So my initial plans involve a preliminary assessment, starting with the activity reports of last term, as well as working with states, local committees, and reaching out to student councils of colleges to find out the reasons for inactive colleges and underrepresented regions, and try to the best of my abilities to address these potential avenues. And also introducing Idea of the Month, an initiative to involve more general members, and working on the annual workshop fest, which will precede the National General Conclave every year in collaboration with the GBTO members. Moreover, three main initiatives for sustained capacity building would be to ensure meaningful member engagement through social media, through enhancing the social media visibility of the organization, to bring on working on board more collaborations, and to have a lot of mini capacity building sessions at a small scales to allow all members the opportunity to participate in these sessions, as well as have open CV sessions, and an Operation Member Insights, which is again a social media based campaign to increase the organization's visibility, and strict criteria for representation, so that we have a more cohesive organization, and also working on involving the LOs more extensively with all capacity building initiatives. And lastly, I would just say that Simsa has given me the opportunity to learn, grow, and more importantly, build a family. And if I am elected to VPCB, that will be my focus, to help everyone amalgamate in this family. And with that, I would like to conclude my presentation. Thank you all for your time.
Thank you, Chetna. That was well within that. So, and do we have any raised hands, Aditya?
Presently, we do not have any. Yeah, we do have now. We have one by VPF and one by
VPE. Okay. I'm seeing a question in the chat. Who was it by? Was it by the VPF? Okay. Okay. So VPF, you could think you had raised your hands first. So VPE, could you type out your question in the chat, please? Chetna, you already have VPF's question in the chat.
Yes, I have always dedicated enough time to whatever roles and responsibilities I have taken up. And as such, if I wouldn't think that I would be able to dedicate my time to this, I would not be applying for this position. So the fact that I've put forward my application for this position means that I do realize that I will be available and ready to allocate my time to this position to answer the VPF's question. Thank you.
Yeah. So you have a good 45 more seconds. So VPE, if you haven't already typed out, you can ask the question. Perfect.
Okay, how would you go about evaluating activities for SDGs, especially with international standards and frameworks?
So again, collaborating and consulting extensively with the VPE and the VPE liaison team, forming an SWG, and consulting with them on the existing activities and the activities that are going to be worked up in the future, on what the criteria should be, how to go about evaluating it, and acquainting myself also with the procedure in detail, and therefore coming up with a established protocol to evaluate all such activities.
Okay, very good.
Thank
and
you.
well within time. Thank you, Chetna. So, Manasvi, can we have the next candidate?
So the next candidate is Anita Michael.
Yes, I'll just share my screen. Yeah, so I'm Anita Michael and I'm running for the candidature for Vice President for Capacity Building. This is just a bit of my experience in terms of capacity building. As a Human Capital Fellow, I've conducted training skill workshops for volunteers, skill-based workshops for children, and we've also conducted induction workshops with regular meetups for ASVs. And we've also brought in sponsorships with SNS institutions along with the drafting of an MOU. As a state director of Tamil Nadu, I've conducted induction workshops in about 24 colleges across the state. As a state sponsorship support for IMA, we've brought in sponsorships of JP publications, and also with Dreams PG and Happy Polar. We've also brought in statewide collaborations with Sathi. I also have a prior experience in the drafting of MOUs. So I'll just go into my action plan, which would be based on enhance, improving, and expanding. So firstly is to enhance and to develop coordination. We'd like to establish focal points within the organization. Then we train the key members, and then we'd establish a trainers pool, which is a database of active trainers or coordinators. And then we'd map the colleges of the states according to the activity potential. And then we'd like to implement the cluster approach to target the inactive states or colleges. So this would actually help in more predictability, timeliness, and effectiveness of response. Apart from this, we'd also like to ensure uniform scheduling of these skill training or inductions, as well as design interactive modules. So this is one of the ways I'd like to improve the outreach of the organization. First is by working with VPI, we'd like to do stakeholder mapping. Secondly, with PRC, we'd like to ensure a visibility of these CB initiatives. Thirdly, with the VPI, we'd like to develop a competency model with the GBTO. So this to basically build on our skills for coordination and communication between the different councils. We'd also like to coordinate with VPF to oversee the financial sustainability of the CB initiatives. We'd like to work with the standing committee chairs to basically establish a uniform evaluation strategies for workshops or webinars. Lastly, we'd like to expand our opportunities for members. We'd like to do this by negotiating a win-win benefit or a deal with corporate donors, mainly for the purpose of sponsorships. Because at the moment, Simsa is a relatively new organization, so we'd like to bring in more sponsorships. And I really believe that corporate donors would be very much ready to support us with the sufficient sponsorships. And secondly, I'd like to ensure that at least 85% of each state's colleges are covered under the inductions. And thirdly, to collaborate with community clubs, which is at the lowest level, and the community organizations and NGOs to basically expand opportunities. And lastly is to ensure professionalism and transparency of every orientation or skill training, and not just to keep it within ourselves, to allow for connectivity with sponsors or collaborators.
Anita, I'm sorry, your time.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'll just stop. Yeah.
So any questions to the candidate? Anybody has any questions? Okay.
We have one question by VPI.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else? There are no other questions. Yes, VPI. Please proceed. Okay. I think he has already put it out in the chat box.
How would you approach corporate donors? Okay, so the way we'd approach corporate donors is already like several organizations like NYCI have already approached corporate donors, which are not really associated with medical organizations, but actually associated with engineering organizations. So we'd actually see through which corporate companies or organizations that these other organizations apart from medical ones are collaborating with, and we'd see them to get, and we basically approach them to get sponsorships, which would definitely be possible because given the fact that many of the corporates want to have some connection with an NGO or some connection with the public health, and we do have a public health organization or a council, so it would be really useful to get in corporate donors because I'm pretty sure that they'll definitely move forward. So we basically target all the organizations which have already been working with corporate donors and then get in sponsorships. Yeah.
So I guess that's it. Thank you, Anita.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you for the presentation. So Manasvi, I think we are done with the agenda, correct?
Oh no, now we're moving to candidates for the president. Our first candidate is Sri Hari Govind.
My bad. Slight error on my part. Apologies there. So yes.
Guys, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello all. I am applying this year as the president for Simsa. Some of my past experiences would be entailing me working with the United Nations, participating in the Health and Gender Task Force in UNMGCY, working on a side event for creating safe spaces for youth along with IFPST and Permanent Mission of Guatemala. I've also worked with Partners in Health, the Ministry of Health of Vietnam, with Pologia, which is a global health think tank, and Harvard Medical School. Last but not least, I have Simsa VPE for the past term. My agenda for this term would be breaking new grounds in sustainable development. My working plan would be divided into teamwork, external representation, collaboration, capacity building, sustainability, and accountability. I'll be giving the highlights. For the highlight would be for, at least for strategy, I'm planning to work on a 3-year strategic plan for the holistic development of Simsa, but I will also be giving a 1-year plan as we go ahead. For external representation, as I always say, global health opportunities are very unidirectional. I'll be actively seeking for grants and collaborations to increase visibility in global health. Our main process, at least for accountability, would be LC incorporation into Simsa. And I am planning to make Simsa into a research and activity-based hybrid organization. These will be the initial steps of my term, which will be the strategic plan, the mental health watch, capacity building and research and activity, advocacy, and start LC onboarding at least by mid-term. Thank you. I would love to answer all your questions.
Very well within time. Thank you for your presentation. Any questions to the candidate?
I have 2 questions. One by the VPI and second by the VPF.
Yeah, okay. The VPI, the VPF, could you please type it out? The VPI
can you please, you have mentioned that you have a very strong external affair experience. However, your experience in matters of engagement within the organization is quite limited. So how are you going to ensure that the local committee onboarding is sufficient?
Okay, so I have a stepwise plan, but in case for my experience, I have engagement with a lot of external organizations and their internal working, so I can very well incorporate what I know in Simsa. I will be having individual calls with local councils along with the VPI and state directors and deputy directors to start the onboarding process by at least mid-July. And once everybody is into the onboarding process, I would love to have them for build a capacity on various workings of Simsa and the election process, and probably work with VPI again and VPCB at certain instances to make separate units. And I will be doing it as a decentralized process, and I won't be having a centralization. So they will have individual voting power and not be influenced by Simsa officials.
So you have 25 seconds for the next question. The VPF. If you haven't, okay, you have typed.
Okay, as opportunities are rare in Global South, how would you improvise its availability to Simsa members, in particular, especially to the naive West? Okay, so I've been working on improving Global South, global health opportunities in the Global South for the past year or 2. I will, for the naive West, I don't exactly know what you mean, but from what I understand, you are saying naive West, meaning the people who actually don't look for it actively, if I'm not wrong. So basically, when you look at a CV, it is divided into 2 parts, at least when you're looking for external opportunities or everything. One will be your organizational experience. The second would be your research experience. Organizational experience is given by Simsa, at least to a certain extent, not to an international level, but to a national level. And research experiences would be another core criteria. So by creating Simsa into a hybrid organization of research and activity, I think I'll be increasing capacity of both and increasing their research experiences for their CV.
Your time. Okay. Time is over. Right.
Okay, can I answer?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
I'll give it to you by writing. Or should I answer now?
No, your answers are over. So
yeah,
your presentation is over.
Okay.
So the next candidate.
Okay. I'll give it to you by writing, whoever wants to.
Okay, the next candidate.
So the next candidate is Karagu Vishnu Bharadwaja.
Okay, so let me just share my screen. So I hope I'm visible.
Yes, you are. Yes.
Yes, all right. So we can start in 3, 2, 1, go. Hey everyone, I'm Vishnu Bharadwaj. You again know me as Courage Chair. So, and I would like to mention this is not a battle of people, it's a battle of ideologies. And I have a slide to dedicate to my opponent because I respect his skills so much. And he's my plan towards getting international collaborations. I'm going to work closely with him and however develop a structure for that. So this is my research experience. I've already told about this. Let me tell you something else. I have been a representative of Nepal and Asian Medical Student Conference. From Nepal, I was a representative at CCMB for the research training. I was a part of an international magazine, and in a 6-month term, I was given to take the charge as president for that. And I was also selected among the 20 people to present for the epidemiology and disease control division on a very special research project. So I would like to focus more on my organizational experience we have with what we built with courage. It's something wonderful. We've done something pretty much could seem impossible for an organization in first year. So we have, again, all these things I've mentioned. I would again like to bring your attention towards 9 external collaborations, 10 SWGs, and 3 ongoing researches, and a flexible structure for non-medical people to participate with us. So my vision for 2021 is sealing in the sustenance. I got to tell you my priorities: get into IFMSA, God, I hope yes, and keep what we built at all costs. So my plan of action, you have a Question Me Accountability Initiative, which will improve communication with all the states, councils. Mental health initiative, we have a 3-tier plan developed with COAF and Courage. This is the existing plan. We have a ready functional methodology for that, and we have a dedicated SWG initiative, and we'll be developing a dedicated research facilitation division with an established fund and innovation lab for multidisciplinary collaboration of medical students with other streams, and a social entrepreneurship platform if you want to take any special activity you built in towards the next level for the community. There'll be a press liaison under DPRC and a feasibility forum with CBC, COEJA, and CLPD to assist council heads with the major decisions, and an expert advisory panel to ensure that any talent in Simsa is not lost. And we'll have a rainbow inclusivity initiative for people from LGBTQ community and a buddy project to improve the liaison between states and councils. So I'll be converting Simsa from a social activity platform to innovation plus activity platform. If you have an idea, you can make it a reality. And we'll have hackathon-based fun challenges. Most importantly, I'm really fun to work with, and this is me, Vishnu. Thank you.
Thank you. So we have 2 questions from. Okay, 3 questions. One is by VPI, VPF, and Anita. Anita, are you
council
are you
member?
part of?
I'm not.
You're a council member, or are you a local committee
member.
head? Council member. So I think we cannot take the question. The question is only by the governing body, the team of officials, that is the voting members and the local committee heads. Sorry for that.
Yeah, sure.
Yes. So VPI and VPF. VPI point of information. Yes, VPI. Yeah.
Yeah, you already explained that council members can't ask. So that was my point of information.
Okay. So the question is to VPI. Please.
So I believe as a president, one of the most...
Okay, I guess fine. It's all right. Go ahead. VPF, I'm sorry, again, please type it out in the chat box. Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Okay. So I believe as a president, one of the most important things done is setting long-term goals for the organization and understanding how that will affect. IFMSA, yes, definitely is one of the long-term goals, but other than that, strategic planning and how we progress. So what is your plan for that? And yep, that's it. Long-term goals, strategic.
Long-term goals, as I said, we'll be having a research facilitation division, which will be dedicated to get in a number of publications from Simsa, and targets will be fixed accordingly. And an innovation lab with multidisciplinary collaborations and a social entrepreneurship platform for people to take ahead. So even with or without IFMSA, our sustenance can be sealed.
So you have 40 more seconds. VPF, you can ask the question. So if you haven't typed out, you can ask. Okay, yes, typed out.
What could be the challenging strength to establish grassroots level cooperation? So again, the grassroots would be the time availability of a medical student. So if we make something which is simple for people to participate, which will help them, which will understanding their current lifestyle. Since all of us are medical students, we have faced those difficulties. If we can make something which is feasible for their lifestyle, we can definitely get more people to involve. Today's youth is not like what 20 years ago are. We are pretty much active, proactive, trying to do what we can to change, to make it into a better world.
Thank you, Vishnu. You have 15 more seconds. Nikta, was that a question or?
Yeah, I actually wanted to ask Vishnu. He talked about the fact that he wants to incorporate innovation into Simsa. How does he exactly envision it?
Okay, 15 more seconds, Vishnu.
All right. So we already have had a discussion with Telangana's Innovative Hub, which is called T-Hub, one of the state-of-the-art entrepreneurship facility. And the finance part is being worked up by our VPF, current VPF. And so we have a couple of license and leads. And basically, I myself have a couple of ideas which I'm going to be executing in the next 6 months. On through the process, I will be establishing a mechanism for a whole organization.
Thank you. Thank you, Vishnu.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right. So, Manasvi, is that the end of our agenda in terms of presentation, candidature presentation? Yes. But very well, we'll be taking a break now. It is 6:46 p.m. So 10 more, it would be 15 more minutes. So at 7, kindly everybody please join again. So, and then we could go about the voting process. A break now.
A small question. So will we be finishing the voting by then, or?
No. I'll just give the instructions then. We are looking at half an hour more. You could, the voting members would be getting their links. So we are just confirming the availability and everything, making sure nothing goes wrong technically, so that along with this break. Plus the voting starts then. And afterwards, with the counting time in, results are going to be taken. That would be
okay. All right.
So any other queries anybody else has? If not, we'll break, I guess. Okay, so we'll be breaking. Dina, if the live can be paused.
Yes.
Yeah, please pause the live, and the live is paused.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
We are having small technical delays. Please, thank you for the cooperation. I hope all the voting members are here. I think, Aditya, you can keep a informal check of how many voting members are present.
Point of information. All the voting members, please raise your hands so that I can confirm the quorum presence before the voting commences.
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಟೀ ಕೊಡುವ ಕೆಲಸ ನಿನ್ನದು. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಟೀ ಕೊಡುವ ಕೆಲಸ ನಿನ್ನದು.
Please mute yourself.
Okay. Okay, we have many days time. Right. So we are almost set up. So yes, the queries, please. VP. Yes. Yes, all of you. Did I miss something or?
Yes, I just point of information.
Plenary chair, I cannot raise my hand because I'm the host. So what is the solution for it?
It was used to confirm the
Aditya,
quorum.
did you ask for attendance roll call?
Yes, I'll take once more.
Okay. Okay. No, best that we do it again.
Okay. Sure.
So we are proceeding into the voting session, people, and
just give me a minute.
Before we start, yeah. Can we have the roll call?
Just a minute. Just a minute. Okay, I'll be starting the roll call.
Yeah.
President Vijay Rupa Konkanachi. President Vijay Rupa Konkanachi. Not present. VP Sri Hari Govind.
Present and voting.
VP I Dina Mariam.
Present and voting.
VP F Fazlur Rahman Khan.
Present and voting.
VP CB Arjun PC. VP CB Arjun PC. Not present. Katyayani Goswami.
Present and voting.
Manish Chandra.
Present and voting.
Anushya.
Not yet.
Anushya not present. Singda Mishra.
Present and voting.
Swati Devella. Swati Devella, Council Chair for Academics and Medical Education. Not present. Abhishek Velmurugan.
Present and voting.
PJ Vishnu Bharadwaj.
Present and voting.
M. Vishma. M. Vishma.
Not here, I guess. I don't see her.
Not present.
Yes.
Darshan Sai.
Yeah, present and voting.
Sachin K. Sachin K. Rukmini Tagore. Rukmini Tagore. Not present. Venkat Praneeth.
Present and voting.
Sanjay B.
Present and voting.
Sejal Kakar.
Present and voting.
Meghna Sitakuru.
Present and voting.
Purna Chandra.
Present and voting.
IT office is vacant. Umar Farooq, State Director of Karnataka. Not present. Lakshmi Venkatasimhacharam.
Present and voting.
Okay. Hemant Reddy. Hemant Reddy. Kukilavani Shekhar.
Present and voting.
Evan.
Present and voting.
Vishwa Babu. Vishwa Babu. Not present. Akhil Anto. Not present.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's it.
We have the quorum.
Yeah, we have the quorum and we can proceed. So next up on our agenda is one of the most interesting parts, the voting. So here is what is gonna happen. So all the voting members have been sent links to their mail. So please go through your mail, open up your links, and place your votes. We'll be giving around 20 to 25 minutes roughly. So I'll be capping out at 7:40 to close the votes, and the 10 more minutes we are looking to announce the declaration of results by 7:50 to 8. That is our given time, and in the meanwhile I think we can ask the previous candidates also to join. So it's still 7:40. Please do go through your mails and place your votes. That would be all. Thank you. I guess we can pause our recording and live also. Okay. So any queries here? If not, I guess we can pause the recording and the live, and everybody can proceed with voting. So I guess none. Yes. Tina, if you could just, before you go for voting, could you just please pause the live and the recording, or if the DPRC is here?
Yes, the recording can be paused. Dear Chair, if you're on the meeting or the minute takers, I have got information from some of the. Hello?
Yes, yes.
Yes, I've got. So Arjun has put on the chat box that he's present in voting. And Anusha, the chair of COF, has told that her connectivity is low, but she got the email and she was able to see through live stream. So she will be voting. So can you also mention that Anusha is present in voting?
Hello, Dina.
Yes.
Your mic is on.
Yes. Anusha, COF, was not able to join the meeting. But
Dina, your mic is on.
hello. Yes, my mic is on. I wanted to say something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Anusha, the chair of COF, was not able to come through Zoom.
Okay. I'm sorry, that please continue. Hello.
Has seen the information.
I am not able to listen to you. Could you just type it out to me?
Point of information. Are there any other members who, apart from the chat messages, are present and exercising their vote to right?
Sanjay, since the voting is closed, can I just say a few words for Simsa?
So hello everybody. We are done with the counting. Aditya, are you here? Manasvi?
Yes.
Manasvi is here. Aditya?
Yes, I'm present.
Yeah, oh, good. So we are going to be declaring the results now. We are almost there, the last stage. So, and I just sent the message out in the candidates group. So I guess we'll have to be waiting a bit more till all the candidates join. Then we can go with the declaration of the results. Manasvi, in the meanwhile, could you please share your screen as the candidate? We'll be starting with the team of officials, right? From the, just to make it a bit more exciting, we'll be starting with logistics officer. Please go down to that part, team of officials, and then we'll be going on one by one. Okay. So everybody else here, I hope you're all here. No, just left your screens on. Could you please switch on your videos? Everybody? Still waiting for a bit more number of people. Not seeing. Okay. 39. We'll have to wait for a bit more time.
Can we please go ahead?
Can start. Nothing. I guess we'll have to ask them personally later on. Okay. So we'll be calling out Aditya. To note down, we'll be calling out the names of the positions while we are announcing the results. So in case they aren't present, we will try once more after giving out all the results. If not, I guess we have to be reached out with, to ask whether they are accepting the position. So, okay, everybody, I guess we are gonna start. Recording is on. Yes. So we are gonna start declaring our results. So before we go into that, congratulations to everybody who's here. Been a wonderful time, and a pleasure moderating for everybody. It's definitely an honor listening to all your presentations. So I know everybody is waiting to hear the results and none of all these lines, but definitely thank you everybody for taking the time to present. Congratulations to all of you. And once again, no matter what the results, please remember you all have your gifts. And I guess one of our candidates, one of our presidential candidates' words were different ideologies. That is a very good point. If at all you hadn't been elected, it would just be that it is different ideologies. Nothing else, nothing more, nothing less. That would be all. So we'll go on to the results.
I'm sorry, I just had to put this in here. Yeah, Simsa.
Okay. any people joining for that?
Me.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. That's that. Okay. We'll start. Aditya, please note we are starting. Manasvi, I'll be citing and you can note down. So first off, for the logistics officer, the candidate who had presented was Miduna. We have for Miduna 22 votes, abstain 3 votes, and Miduna wins by absolute majority. Okay. Okay, and against none. Please add that too. Yeah, okay. Okay, so Miduna, if you're here, could you please tell if you're accepting this position?
Yes, I am. Thank you for having me on board.
Good. Glad you're on board. On to the next one, the TPRC. Okay. For TPRC, please type. Okay, first of all, I'll be telling for Bhajan, we have 24, Sweta, it is 4. It is 20 minutes, 20 for Bhajan, 20. For Mariam, it's 1. Against all, none, and abstain, none. So, and TPRC, Bhajan has been elected as the TPRC with an absolute majority of 20. Okay. Moving on to the, and before we move on to the next one, Bhajan, are you here?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. So do you accept the position?
Yes, I have accepted the position. Thank you for having me on board.
Okay. And thank you so much, Bhajan. And everybody, while you're accepting, please do switch on your video cams. And even now, please do try to switch on your video cam. Okay. The next one, State Director for Puducherry. We had Swarna contesting for State Director of Puducherry. For Swarna, we have 23 votes, abstain 2, and against none. So Swarna is elected as the.
Hello. Good evening.
Yeah. Yes, Swarna. Yes.
Yeah. Sir, I am accepting my post. Thank you so much.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Swarna.
I think my video is not visible.
Yeah, it is. It is
switched on.
visible. It is visible now. Thank you. Thank you. Swarna.
Thank you.
Okay. The next one, State Director for Tamil Nadu. Again, we had Anita contesting. For Anita, we had 15 votes, abstain 5, against 5. So again, Anita wins by absolute majority. Anita, are you here? Anita? Anita, you're here. Can you switch on your mic?
Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah. Oh yeah, I accept my post.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Can I go for the State Director in the month, please? So for February, we had 23. Abstain is 2, against none. February wins by absolute majority. February, are you here? February? February, if you're here, please respond. Okay, I guess he's not here. Aditya, please note down. We'll have to call for Fabian again once more. Okay, the State Director of Telangana. So for Vamshi, we have 20. For Shaibi, we have 5. Against all, none, and abstain none. Okay. And Vamshi is elected as the State Director for Telangana with absolute majority. Vamshi, are you here?
Yes, thank you.
Do you accept your position?
Yes, I will accept the position and thank you for letting.
State Director for Karnataka next. Okay. For Puja Path, we have 19 votes. For Lakshita, we have 5 votes. And abstain 1. Against or none. Okay. Puja wins by an absolute majority again. Is elected as the State Director for Karnataka by an absolute majority. Puja, are you here?
Yeah. Thank you so
Do you
much. I accept it.
Yeah.
And thank you for your support and trust. Thank you.
Thank you, Puja. Okay. Okay, so next up we have Council Vice Chair for Ethical and Judicial Affairs. So for is that, are we in Vice Chair, Manasvi? Yeah, right. So for Pradyumna, we have 2. Samukta, it is 20. For Saumika, it is none. Abstain, it is 3. And against all is none. So the results, the Council Vice Chair for Ethical and Judicial Affairs is Samukta Venkatesan by an absolute majority. Samukta, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
And do you
I accept my post and thank you for electing me.
Thank you, sir. So next up for so the LPD, we have Vice Chair Nikita. Sorry, 4 is 16. Abstain is 8. And against is 1.
Against?
Yeah, against is 1. So Nikita is elected as the Council Vice Chair for Long Range Planning and Development, majority. Nikita, are you here? Nikita, could you please switch on your mic at least? And I'm seeing your message in the chat box. Okay, just please type out then that you accept the position, if you do. Okay, fine. That typed out yet. Okay. Moving on to the next one, Vice Chair Courage. Right. For Shreya. Right. Okay. It's for Shreya. For Shreya, we have for Shreya we have 19 votes. For Shaivi, it is 3 votes. For Pooja, it is 2 votes. For Feba, it is none. Abstain is 1. And against all is none. So Shreya has been elected as the Council Vice Chair for Courage by an absolute majority. Shreya, are you here?
Yes, I am right, sir. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Okay, next up is Vice Chair for Academics and Medical Education. For Srinay, we have 24 votes. Abstain, we have 1. And against 1. So Srinay is elected by an absolute majority, 24 votes. Srinay, are you here?
Oh yeah, I'm here and I'd like to accept my post and thank you for having me on board.
Thank you, Srinay. Okay. So Vice Chair for Science and Public Health next. So for Monisha, we have 14 votes. Again, for Deepashri, we have 8 votes. For Asya, we have 2 votes. Against all, it is none. And abstain. So the elected council vice chair for science and public health is Monisha. Monisha, are you here?
Yes, I'm here and accepted. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are. Thank you. So the next position, please. Council of Rights and Peace. Yes. So for Council of Rights and Peace, we have apps for Sai Nikita, it is 5. For Seher, it is 4. And abstain is 16. So against is 0. So result is withheld here. Unfortunately, the result is withheld, but thank you, Sai Nikita and Seher, presenting. We haven't reached a majority yet. Result is no, just that result. Okay. Next, we have the council chair for Constitution and Bylaw CBC. For Sejal, we have 24 votes, abstain is 1, and against is 24. 24 votes, 24. Against is none. Sejal wins by an absolute majority. Sejal, are you here?
Yes, thank you. I
Thank you, Sejal. So, Council Chair for Ethical and Judicial Affairs. So, for Venkat, we have 22 votes. For Philip, we have 2 votes. And abstain, we have 1 vote. 1. Against all, none. So, Venkat Pranit has been elected as the Council Chair for Ethical and Judicial Affairs by absolute majority. Venkat, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here. Thank you, Sanjay, and thank you all the council members.
Thank you. Thank you. And do you accept?
I accept the question.
So, next up, we have Chair for Courage. For Chetna, we have 22 votes. For Rahana, we have 2 votes. Abstain is 1. And against all. And we have Chetna elected as the council chair for Courage by an absolute majority. Chetna, are you here?
Yes, I'm here. I accept the position. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next up, chair for academic and medical education. For Abhishek, we have 24 votes. For Harsha, we have 1 vote. Abstain is none. Against all is none. Abhishek is elected as the council chair for academics and medical education as by an absolute majority. Abhishek, are you here?
Yeah, I accept the positions and thank you, Simsa.
Thank you. So, chair for public health next. For Snigdha, we have 22 votes. For Praveen, we have 1 vote. For Lakshita, we have 1 vote. For Monisha, it is none. Abstain, we have 1 vote. And against all. Snigdha has been elected as the Council Chair for Science and Public Health by an absolute majority of 22 votes. Snigdha, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here. Thank you so much for trusting me. I hope I don't let you down.
Thank you. Okay. So next up, we have the governing body, starting with Vice President for Capacity Building, VBCB. So for Vishnu, we have 13 votes. And for Chetna, we have 9 votes. For Anita, we have none. And it's abstain, we have 2. Against all is 1. By simple majority, Vishnu has been elected as the Vice President for Capacity Building. Vishnu, are you here?
Yes, I'm here, but I have applied for president as well, so I will wait to take the chance.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so next one. Okay, the next up we have VPF. Mohammed has, it was a last minute thing that which he decided to withdraw for personal, and so he has withdrawn his candidature. So for Swati, we have 15 votes. For Rahman, we have 6 votes. Abstain is 4. And against all is none. Swati is elected as the Vice President for Finances by an absolute majority. Swati, are you here? Swati, are you
Yes.
here?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you for electing me.
Do you accept? Swati? Next up, the BPI. So Ketiani has received 21 votes. For Shreya, it is 3 votes. For Praveen is 1 vote. For Hasya, it is none. Against all, none, and abstain, none. Ketiani is elected as the Vice President for Internal Affairs by absolute majority of 21 votes. Ketiani, are you here?
Yes, thank you, Sanjay. Thank you guys for your faith in me. I accept the position.
Thank you. So next up, we have the VPE position. So for Dina, we have 20 votes. Abstain is 5. And against is none. So elected Vice President of External Affairs is Dina Mariam with an absolute majority of 20 votes. Dina, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah.
Yes, I accept the position.
Thank you. Right. So next up, the last and the most important one in the hierarchy. So for Srihari Govind, we have 17 votes. So for Vishnu, we have 8 votes. So against is none and abstain is none. And the president-elect is Srihari Govind with an absolute majority of 17 votes. Srihari, are you here?
Yes, guys. I accept the position. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Vishnu?
Yes, I'm here. Congratulations, Hari.
Thank you
So
so much, Vishnu.
I think it is so do you accept the VPCP position?
Yes, I do.
Yes. And also I think there has to be a vote of confidence on that, if I'm not wrong. Pull me up again. So just once more confirming here, everybody, do we have a vote of confidence?
Point of information, reminder for State Director of Andaman, Mohammed.
Please pull it up. Okay. Okay. Febin. Okay. Febin, are you here? He's not here. We'll have to reach out. Febin? Yes, he's not here. Okay. So coming back to the VPCP person. Yeah. Okay. Simple. It's simple majority here, and we just need a quick vote of confidence. So the voting members, just please raise your hand for vote of confidence. Yes.
So point of information, whoever's in favor of Vishnu getting the vice president capacity, who's for Vishnu becoming elected as vice president of capacity building, please raise your hand.
Point of information, that button is not there on my screen, so I'll be literally raising my hand. Thank you.
Okay.
Go to reactions.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Has the vote of confidence been reached? Yes, these two. No, Vishnu, no, you haven't. It's almost done. Has everybody raised their hands? Yes. Oh, just that need a vote of confidence. So if if all of you want Vishnu to be the VPC, he already has a simple majority. It's just a vote of confidence we need here. Yes, I guess everybody's hand is raised. Okay. Again, I guess that answers the question. Right. Hands have been raised, and we have a vote of confidence. Vishnu, are you here? Vishnu? Vishnu, are you here?
He is not. He has some network issues.
Okay, I guess we'll just have to wait for him to say acceptance. In the meanwhile, so since the plenary session is over, the results have been declared. I would like to ask the president-elect to speak a few words. The president-elect?
Yes, hi everyone. This 1 year, especially with Rupa, Dina, I cannot forget Rahman, my partner in crime as always, and Arjun, if he's here, is he? Can I at least get a hi from you now? Kat, Snigdha, Swati, Sanjay, I can't forget about you, and everybody else, and Srinai and my election liaisons, and Vishnu, is he here? No, Chetna. Chetna. What am I saying? Election liaisons, my external affairs liaisons. It has been an amazing year. I thank everybody for making this. Again, I'm sorry, I'm thanking the chairperson for making this election a very big success. I want everybody to understand that these elections are, as Vishnu, my the person who went against me for president, stated, it's a battle of ideologies, and anybody who did not get elected, I would say, please don't lose your motivation. We, at least this future term at Simsa, we're gonna try to make this more inclusive towards everybody, and opportunities are gonna be available, hopefully to everybody, and accessibility is gonna be easier. Secondly, to the people who are going to be who have been elected for the term of 2020 to 2021 to 22, I would say thank you so much for applying and getting elected, and hoping to have a very good term with all of you. Thank you.
I guess that's it. So Vishnu, final confirmation, are you here? Are you here? Aditya, is Vishnu here?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
here.
Okay. So would you do the honors of accepting the position? Vishnu?
I guess I have a bad network.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, I accept the position.
Yeah. Okay. And we are done. We have the entire GP and the TO on board. So it's been wonderful. And as the president-elect said again, those who did not get elected, it is just different ideologies at the end of the day. And always nurture all your gifts, and all the very best. And congratulations to all of you. That is all, and we'll be ending our plenary session with this. And before I end, the minute takers, are they there? Manasvi and Aditya, both of you here?
Yes.
Thank you so much to both of you. I don't think so it would have been possible for me to conduct a smooth election without both of you. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming up.
Since I did become president, and much to, I think, a lot of y'all charged in or not liking it, I think we can all end with a Yas Simsa if it's possible.
Before the president-elect,
I would quit right now.
Before the president-elect ends it with a Yas Simsa, let me thank my minute takers.
Yes. Oh yes. Thank you.
And that they're literally gone through a lot. I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody had a tough agendas managing their daily routines and still presenting. My minute takers, personally, I guess, in spite of all technological barriers and being tired and everything, I think one of them has taken the vaccine shot and is still working. So definitely thank you to both of them for helping me out. And so this is, I've been working with Simsa for 1 year. So this is not as the plenary chairperson. The plenary has concluded. And it has been wonderful time working with all of you. Thank you for that. So I'm not in any position. I'm not applying for any position this year, but it was really, really great with all of you. Yes, Samsa. Yeah.
Okay,
I think I got it wrong.
Stop the live stream and then do like a party session.
Yeah. So